Hi everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Martin McAndrew and I'm the founder here at Bluethirst and we make digital ads work. So as part of our Make Ads Work series, today we're going to dive into the health, wellness, fitness and weight loss market. So if you work in this sector and you're looking to maybe do some digital marketing next year, we've got some great tips on how you can supercharge your performance across digital marketing channels. We're also going to discuss bad actors. So Facebook turned this phrase last year, which means that someone who's trying to break the terms and conditions of the channel's advertising policies. We're sure that's not you, but we're going to look into the policies that are designed to catch these bad actors. So I'm sure that your product or service is a legitimate product, which is good for your customers. So the goal of watching this video is to make sure that you don't accidentally write or use an image or do something that would get your account flagged, locked or ultimately possibly banned just by looking like a bad actor when you're not. So we're going to look into Google Ads, we're going to look into Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. So check out this video and save yourself the heartache of getting blocked or banned content. So without delay, let's look at Google Ads. Okay, so the first channel we're going to look at is Google. So Google is obviously most famous for its search ads. So that is if you go to Google, you search for a product or a service or you need some information, google.com or .co.uk will list 10 results and there'll be advertising results around it. You can run all your text ads through here. You can also run display ads. So that is where partner websites sell or kind of rent a little bit of their website and you're allowed to put a banner on there and you can target either by topic of content, by audience type. There's lots of ways that you can choose which sites you add your banners onto. You've also got shopping campaigns. Now these are if you are searching for a product to buy, so plasma TVs. Along the top normally is 5 or 6 adverts for plasma TVs. You get a picture, a price, and you can add some little extension-y bits which are quite nice. You can run video ads as pre-roll or kind of through other different types of ads on YouTube. If you want to run apps, for example, so if you want people to download your apps as a specific app download campaign type. Smart campaigns that we've spoken about in another video. If you want to drive people geographically, so if you've got a local business and local customers are important, you can run locally based adverts. And then there's discover ads where it's kind of more of a branding. We'll cover each of these individually in other videos, but there's more to Google than just text ads. So what we're going to look at now is some of the policy issues that we need to be aware of if we're working in the health, fitness, weight loss sector that make sure that our ads always get approved and we don't be classed as one of those bad actors. Okay, so we're going to look at the Google Ads policies first. So this is how Google decides if you're a good advertiser or a bad advertiser. And if you're a bad advertiser, they can ban you basically advertising on their platform. So they stop you as a person actually advertising on their platform, which can be devastating if that's your position in a company or if that's what your company does or if that's how your company takes its products to market. So what you've got to remember with all this sort of stuff is most of it is automatic. So systems are looking for certain types of behavior or you're doing certain things, and what we're trying to do is make sure that we don't accidentally get on the fringes of that sort of stuff, because you'll get away with it a few times. Images can get disapproved, but generally what happens is the more and more things that you do that get approved, actually the system starts becoming a bit more sensitive to you and you start to get flagged more often, and it just kind of snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. So actually what you want to do is be super aware of all the issues and make sure you don't go near them with a barge pole. So the way that Google works is their advertising policies are kind of put into 4 broad areas. They have what they call prohibited content, so that is stuff that you just can't advertise on the platform. So it's all the kind of nasty stuff. It's guns and drugs and all that kind of sort of stuff. Prohibited practices, so there's certain things you can't you can't do when you advertise with them. There's some restricted types of content you can't use, in certain images that are banned on the system, and there's some editorials and some technical issues that you need to be mindful of. So it's worth if you go to this support.google.com/ads policy, Everything is documented here. There is quite a bit, but it's worth just having a flick through, because if you end up getting flagged by stuff, you want to make sure you realise why you're being flagged. So the first one that we're going to look at, which is quite important in the kind of health, fitness and weight loss market, is healthcare and medicines. So the bit that is important to us is, I've lost it, is the unapproved substances. So this is something we need to be quite careful of. So I've said it's an automated system. So Google has identified these as flag words. So if you're using anything like this, so 2-day diet, 3-day diet, botanical slimming, lose weight coffee, so even if your ad says don't use Slim 30, this is better than a super fat burner, because this is an automated system, you might actually get caught up in this policy. So here is a list of terms, and it's a non-exhaustive list of terms, but I wouldn't touch any of I wouldn't put any of these ads in ad copy. I wouldn't put any of these words in banner ads or bid on them, or you're going to just start raising flags. Or if you're a little bit further down the line, it will kind of start exacerbating the situation you're already in. So unapproved pharmaceuticals and supplements, there's a list of related to weight loss keywords. If you're doing other stuff, there's some stuff around other supplements that you should probably be aware of. And then there is also a third list. Sorry, there's a couple of other lists. Steroids we'll stay away from. But yeah, if you're even talking about these topics, just be aware the system might start flagging you. Okay, so the other policy to be aware of when using Google Ads is the misrepresentation policy. So there's quite a lot here, but if we scroll down, the bit that's going to be important to this sector is, I've missed it, is unreliable claims. Now there is a specific policy for unreliable claims within health and weight loss. So have a read through this, because it's only this little paragraph. But making unproven claims of cures for incurable medical ailments, or making claims of unrealistic weight loss within a specific time frame, or requiring little effort. So again, remember, this is an automated platform, so you need to be really careful of the language that you're using, that the automated system doesn't think you're making an unrealistic weight loss or a specific time frame guarantee. But it does note, if you do guarantee certain results, have a clear and easy accessible refund, so money back policy. Testimonials that claim specific results must include a visible disclaimer stating there is no guarantee of specific results and that the results may vary. So you need to include links to third-party verification, or to include relevant and notable disclaimers when testimonials endorsements imply that results are typical. So I think that is quite clear. If you've had specific issues with Google, do drop them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help sort those ones out. So we're now going to move on to our next channel, which is Facebook. Okay, so Facebook advertising is probably the channel that you're going to be most interested in, because Facebook not only is Facebook, but it also allows you to run ads on Instagram, and there's things that are going to be coming out of WhatsApp. They've just launched a new checkout basket in WhatsApp, for example, so we're going to see more things within the Facebook community of services in the future. Well, saying that, there's a lawsuit, I think, currently live, which is trying to force Facebook to sell Instagram. And then there's all the stuff that's happening with Apple and their latest update, which we're not going to cover in this video, but let's assume that everything's perfect. Facebook ads in 2021 continue to be as successful as they were in 2020. Facebook, again, despite what the media says, is very strict over what ads we can and can't run. So we're going to deep dive now into the kind of the top policies that you guys need to be aware of if you're advertising health and fitness and wellness products on Facebook and Instagram. So let's have a look at that now. Okay, so Facebook is probably a bit more, well, it's more strict than Google. It has some very well documented ads policies, which we're gonna look at now. So the first one is this one here, which is the ads policy on personal health, which is one that you should definitely be aware of if you're working in this sector. So the following personal health advertising policy is part of Facebook's prohibited content. Ads must not contain before and after images that contain unexpected or unlikely results. Ad content must not imply or attempt to generate a negative self-perception in order to promote a diet, a weight loss, or other health-related products. It's quite an interesting, this one. So your examples of personal health products and services include making changes to one's body figure, such as weight loss, treatments for certain part of the body, such as acne, teeth conditions, yellow teeth, hair conditions, etc., etc. And there is a bit more that we can jump into. So if we look at prohibited content for health products and services, so again, this is an automated platform, so we need to be very careful of what we say. But what you're not allowed to do to reduce negative ad experiences on our services, our advertising policy doesn't allow the following advertising strategies when promoting products or services that focus on an individual's health. So you can't have images that focus on conditions. So for example, ads using zoomed in images of acne will not be allowed. You can't have result focused content. So for example, ads should not position specific results as guaranteed, such as drastic results in a short period of time. Since results vary for people, this content positioning may feel misleading. Before and after content we can't have, so ads must not use before and after images. And negative self-perception, so ads should not highlight a specific body or figure as desirable, showcase before or after results, or promote an idealized end result. So if we look at some of the examples of these, it's basically repeating the same thing, but this is an example of a violating image. The following image is an example that wouldn't be allowed because it's a zoomed in image and the person's body, so it may put an excessive focus on a weight loss number. So alternative ideas, if this is the image you wanted to run, is positive testimonials of people who have used the service. Bear in mind that weight loss products and services must also comply with COMP6. We're going to look at this policy in just a second. And you need to be targeting people at least 18 years or older. And then also there's a second one here, which is, we've discussed this earlier, so primarily focusing on a health condition, so yellow teeth is not allowed. Some other things that might be worth doing, videos on how to use the product with a description of how often it's recommended to be used in order to whiten teeth. So yeah, so we've got some examples here of zoomed in, it's the tape measure showing that thin is better is going to get this image banned, and then a zoomed in image of teeth here is going to get this image banned as an ad. This one is also a violated image because they don't allow before and after. So this is a shot obviously before using the product. This is a shot after using the product. So I think that's some quite good policy information about what you're basically not going to be able to get away with. There is a whole load of other information that's worth reading, but the core policies for this vertical sector we've kind of covered on Facebook. But what I would say is that Facebook support is pretty bad. There is a chat facility where you can message their experts, but generally they tend to work off a script and they're not fantastic. So if anyone is having any specific problems, do feel to drop a comment down below. We've got a pretty good team here at Bluethirst that work on these ads, and if there is something that maybe I've not come across, I'll run it past the team and I'm sure we can find an answer either to why you're having a problem or how to fix the potential problem that you're having. So yeah, I think we've kind of covered Facebook. These rules also apply to Instagram. The next channel we're going to look at, which may or may not be part of your mix, is Twitter. Okay, so let's look what we can and can't do on Twitter. So Twitter still is an interesting channel to look at There's approximately 330 million monthly active users and about 145 million daily active users. The platform, about 63% of all Twitter users worldwide are between 35 and 65, and the ratio of male to female is approximately 1 to 2, with 34% being female and 66% being male. So if this is your key demographic, it's a channel that you might consider looking at. So let's look at what their policies are and how you need to be careful on this particular channel. Okay, so Twitter doesn't have the same depth of policy that Facebook or some of the other channels have, but the main one that's going to be important for this sector is the healthcare policy. So there's a whole load of stuff here about pharmacies, but the ones that are really important, and it's very similar to Google to be honest, is the health supplements. So this is, our policy is actually limited to dietary supplements that contain anabolic steroids are banned. Any dietary supplements that are marketed using references to steroids are also banned. Nutritional products, including weight loss products and marketed with unreasonable or unsubstantiated claims, are part of this policy, and medical and cosmetic is part of this policy. So what products and services are not subject to? Again, this is probably not something that a lot of you guys will be working with, but it does vary a little bit by country. So we're based over in the UK. So if I scroll down, and it does cover not the vast majority of countries, but most of the big markets are in here. But specifically for the UK markets, advertising OTC medical devices and in vitro diagnostic medicine devices targeted in the UK is allowed, and advertisements from pharmaceutical manufacturers are permitted with restrictions. These advertisers may only target the UK. So there are some specific country policies. So what do advertisers need to know about this policy? You need to review their guidelines to understand the requirements for your brand. So is there anything else that's worth? It's a bit of a crappy policy on Twitter. It's not so mature as kind of the Facebook policy. But basically what you're going to have to do is, if you do have an issue, you need to file a ticket, and that then gets the advert put through the review process. So generally they're targeting very similar, I think they're probably using very similar flag keywords to the list that we saw in the Facebook policy. But it's an automated system with a ticketing system if there's a problem, and that's kind of all they really tell you. So the next channel that we're going to look at is TikTok. Okay, so TikTok, if you've not had a look at it, check it out. Basically what the platform does is it allows users to upload kind of little comedy skits, really. It's making massive music inroads into the music industry, where people do kind of voiceovers of famous songs. Had a huge influence on the charts in 2020. It's one of the most active social media apps in the world at the moment. Currently there are around 3.7 million active users in the UK. It's downloaded, the app itself is downloaded over 1 million times per month, and the engagement is actually quite incredible. So the average daily time spent on the app is 41 minutes, and the largest share of users, approximately 26%, are aged 18 to 24. So if you're a brand targeting this age of customer, it's definitely worth having a look at. But it does have some quite strict policies, which we're going to look at now. So TikTok actually has one of the stricter policies, and they break it down actually by country, but promoting drugs, weight loss management, and fasting or services that promote weight loss management, so supplements, pills, appetite suppressants and weight loss, are all banned. So you can look by country. Again, we're based in the UK, so if we scroll down to the UK rules, so ads promoting weight loss management, fasting products or services, then ads promoting any weight loss management supplements, including fat burning pills, appetite suppressants, weight loss or detox teas or lollipops, are all banned. So if you're producing content for this channel, or you're going to run ads, You won't be able to promote any of that, but also if you're comparing or talking about those topics, you're in very risky territory. So I would stay away from anything like that on TikTok, which is probably right. It's targeted, it's a channel that is a very young demographic, and without getting kind of political, it's probably the right thing for this sort of channel to not allow that sort of stuff to be there. Okay, so that's the major channels that you're probably looking at for your health and fitness or well-being marketing in 2021. And I guess the point I really want to make is just because you have a legitimate product and service doesn't mean you're not going to get caught up with these flags if you talk about things that are banned on the platform. So be very, very careful on the content that you put into your ads. Be super careful if you do start getting disapproved ads, kind of go super clean again. And again, just be careful. It's an automated system, and with the kind of the lockdown at the moment and everything kind of people working from home, the approval process isn't very efficient at the moment. So the more things that you can personally do to not trigger the automatic flags, the easier your marketing is going to be. So we've had a little bit of kind of negativity over things that we can't do, and there's quite a lot that we can't do in this sector. We do have the one thing that we've found has worked fantastically well in our experience. But before we kind of show you that, I would ask, please, if you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. We also produce daily marketing news stories every single day. So if you want to know the latest updates from Facebook and Instagram and Google and SEO and PPC as they break, follow our YouTube channel, press the bell so you get the notification. Or if you actually head over to our website, bluethirst.co.uk, you can sign up to our newsletter where every week we will send you an EastEnders Omnibus style edition email with all the breaking digital marketing news that any digital marketing manager should really be on top of if you're building a strategy and kind of working on these channels. So the best technique that I've seen on how to use these channels that cost absolutely no budget at all is to utilise your network of your current customers and make your customer famous by tagging them on your content. So if you're running gym workouts, make sure that they're tagged in their workout that they're doing, so all of their friends see that they're at the gym, they're losing weight, they're happy. If you're, whatever your product is, if you can make your customers famous, that is the best way to advertise in this sector, because it's 100% legitimate, you're not breaking any terms of service, and you actually, people trust people they know. So if they can see that their whatever product is you're selling is helping their friends, that is a great thing for them to see, and they'll probably then be interested in the product as well. So I hope that helps. Any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments box below, and I hope you have a great 2021.